Jinx.
All right.
So
15.
15. Ooh,
Heavy carriers.
Heavy battleships.
Awesome.
And that's complete, right?
That's complete.
Heavy carriers. No. Oh yeah. Okay.
You got them.
Yeah.
Right now.
No,
Heavy carriers?
He's saying battleships, right?
Oh, I thought, yeah, it's heavy carriers.
Yeah.
Cheater.
Yeah.
Germany starts with heavy carriers right there.
Yeah, Germany.
Brilliant.
starts-
That's what we need.
Russia.
8.
8.
Yeah.
All right.
Advanced anti-sub warfare.
Well, that's
fairly
going to be
useless.
very useful for us.
You never know.
I could use heavy armor.
Loser. Okay, so who, the Commonwealth?
Oh.
Nope, Japan. That'd be you again,
All
Jinx.
right. I'll go for it. Heavy carriers, please. No, it's heavy armor.
Heavy
All right.
armor?
Oh,
Reverse.
jeez.
Japan starts with
That
heavy armor.
was terrible. That's going to cost you a +2.
That's
That'd be $10 for a tank.
That's hilarious. Jesus.
Should it be the other way around?
Exactly the other way around. I feel like I'm cheating now. Okay, so it's the Commonwealth.
Oh,
There you go.
dice.
Yeah, watch every roll will be perfect.
7.
7.
Advanced subs.
Advanced subs.
So far,
That's not bad
everyone's
for the
getting.
British.
No, that's very
I
good
guess
for
we
the
should have
British.
talked about the teams here. Jinx is the Axis. Panzer King, he's the Comintern, the dirty commie bastard. Rank is the Commonwealth, including Canada, so he's got 4 nations. And I am France, the United States, and nationalist Chinese. So that's who the teams are. So who's next? France.
Yeah.
France doesn't normally get to. They're not going to get to develop weapons in the game, but they are gonna participate in this. And it could be that the weapon's going to be completely useless for them. So what would be great for them is if they got 11 for wartime economy. That would work out really well. 4 jet
Jets.
aircraft.
The French
I don't even think
jets.
I've painted up any jet aircraft for the French.
Probably not.
I should trade with Stalin. And
Yeah.
so who's next?
We've got
The Italians.
Italy. Italy's next.
Who's
It's
next?
Jinx.
Sorry. Here we go. 14.
14.
Heavy battleships.
Heavy
Hey,
battleships.
that's not.
That's not so
A
bad.
little
for them.
bit better, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then it's just the Americans, right? So here we go.
Yeah, unless you want to have the Chinese roll.
No, Chinese don't get one. It's just the major powers. So here we go. 4
Jets.
jet aircraft. That's not so bad.
That's a good one for them.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Jet.
I would have really liked the heavy carriers, though, because you look at the carriers. There's 10, 9, 9, 9.
I know, that's-
they
that's-
get them right.
Well, this one's
So-
still 8s, but
Yeah.
yeah.
But I mean, it just is like if they want carriers, the heavy carriers. Anyway, so that's how we started it off. And Jinx is on the clock.
I'm on the clock. All right.
You've got to be finished your
So
turn
there's
by
our
Monday
tech
night.
rolls.
Then you all got to come
Should be
back next
fun.
week for the
Yeah,
rest of
that's right. Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
I'm gonna
So he's playing with the Elite of the Reich.
Okay, let's see here. We've just finished round 1. Not too much has happened. There's been a bit of tech. The new rule here, you can roll the first stage 1 or stage 2 of tech until July 39, and you can go past. We had that house rule in the past video I just did here. And those are the techs we got out of that. So tech's moving along a little bit. There's been quite a bit of rolling, but not everybody's winning. So Jinx is the Axis, and so far it looks like he's
Here's one.
Oh,
taken one
I'll have to
annexation
paint him
here,
up, but
All right.
and he's built a bit of navy as well. We'll see what's going on. There's some lend-lease going on here to
Don't look at my stuff.
to Spain. Yeah, yeah,
check these guys out.
yeah. Russia's
I
been
just got
active
these.
in
He
there
just
as
sent it
well.
to me.
We're using the
Stormtroopers.
Spanish Civil War
Oh wow, that's
version.
really cool. For World War One. That's really
Um,
cool. Like gas mask. and-
British put a bunch
That's
of
cool.
That's awesome.
It's 3D printed.
Escorts.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got 4.
Russia hasn't done much. They just spent a whole turn blowing all their money on tech rolls. So Japan is moving over, but they haven't attacked anybody yet. They're just moving stuff over to the mainland. Australia's got no money, so it's not doing anything.
Why?
And Abyssinia has been taken.
That
Let's
one
see
right
what
there,
else is
yeah.
going on. And the Americans are just moving the navy that was in the Philippines back home. So that's it. That's all that's really going on. We'll see what happens in the next round or two. So we are playing with a bunch of expansions, Spanish Civil War, commanders, railroads. Speaking of which, I think we need commanders on the map for some people.
Nope.
Doesn't
Only when
with wood?
Nope. Oh, actually, yeah.
And
We'll
Russia
take a
likes
look.
that, and I think the CCP and
You're right. They
KMT
do.
might have one. We'll figure that out. What other things are we using? Just
We're using all the heavies.
We're just using unit-based stuff, right? Like heavies and lead of the right, the elite for the Japanese, minorities at war for the Americans,
I'm flummoxed, man.
and stuff like that.
Weird.
All right, where's my sheet? And additional optional rules. We're using all terrain. We're using combat move in canal. We're using Himalayan air hump, variable game end, national specific victory, damaging facilities under construction, screening forces. Aircraft are allowed to retreat if their carrier sinks, one space. Surface rating ships, mine warfare, convoy rating aircraft, damaging railways.
There you go.
Rail
Maybe
gauge
that's the white
change,
one.
you
Use
gotta
this
stop. Motorized
This one's
upgrade,
the
and we
lower one.
adjusted motorized so that they can
There's
be
nobody with gray over there.
supported by
And chicken
artillery. The only difference is that they
Jinx.
just move to with the truck.
Camel.
And they're the same as
Nice. Is
cavalry.
it employed?
They transport.
No, this is for world. This is my
Considered
world.
Oh, that's
vehicles.
awesome. I like that a lot.
Chinese victory, Suez reroute,
Yeah.
Italian surrender, forcing a strait. We're gonna try those out maybe. Land-based scramble, adjacent land zone, strategic naval moves, air redeployment, so that allows you a double non-combat move. Amphibious assault on narrow crossings, and strategic bombing of rivers and canals. We're also going to be adding in Italian and French players have the option to become the controllers or aligners of minor powers instead of locking it into just British or German. All right, pretty brief video, but that's it. We'll see what happens.
Fuck, James.
All right, RC here. July 38 just started. Germany and
I thought we were January 38.
sorry. No, we're July. January 38. Yeah, January 38 just started. Turned 4.
Rank Carcass is on drugs.
I'm obviously on some kind of mind-altering substance, and
He's high on potato chips.
yeah, I was eating those chips. What'd you put in them?
Yeah.
Trying to turn the game in your favor.
I put pretzels in it.
Oh, pretzels in the chips. That's what's got me all messed up. Pretzels and cheesies.
He's
Anyway,
on a salt.
anyway, they had a big war in the middle there, and then the German-controlled units backed off, and it looks pretty much the same as it did before, but both sides have a few
Steady.
less units.
More depressing.
Yeah. Other than that, there's just been Americans haven't really done anything on this side at all, or the other side, have you?
Japan's attacked China.
Yeah, Japan's attacked China. That's about the only
He's a
thing.
bully.
Couple, 3 annexes happened over there. Then we had this roll in here where Britain lost $3, and France and the U.S. lost a couple bucks. That was brutal.
That was
We made it back. We made our money back.
I think they lied about
And
that.
Japan last turn
Did you read
just
this
attacked
thing?
the
Because I
coast.
didn't read it.
I did. Unfortunately,
Oh, okay.
it's in there. Yeah. Japan attacked the coast and the island last turn, and I don't know what they're going to take this turn.
Everything.
They're one away from getting all their bonuses, and it looks
I'm
like
ready,
you got a
man.
flipped up red
You're,
one
you're
right
going
there.
after mountain territory now.
That's
You
true.
got a coastal subway down there. Australia took reinforced an island.
Remember, you're going to have to take transports
Americans
and
are-
stuff if you want to use
Yeah.
it.
Units way
Yeah,
back from the Philippines there. The Germans are spreading out convoy subs. They haven't convoyed anything yet, but Canada went up because there was a German convoy or German sub on a British convoy line. So it went up to $1 for that.
Plus, they took Bohemia.
And they took Bohemia, which brought them up another $1 for that. So Canada's up at $4 now.
They're having a rhapsody.
Yeah, they are.
The Bohemian
They're
Rhapsody.
1 point away from their wartime income. So I don't know what I'm going
Freddie
to do.
Mercury's got a machine
We're
gun.
going to go crazy with $5 in Canada. Just crazy.
Anybody?
Anyhow, other than that, there wasn't too much going on.
A general
China's
grenade.
communist Chinese are just stacking up. They're not really attacking anything. And there was a border skirmish over there. The Russians attacked and lost 1 infantry, and there hasn't been much since over there. I'm not sure what's going on with this Russian transport and 2 dudes, but they started way over here and they've moved their way through and around, and now they're over there.
I think they're just building up the frequent flyer points.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if they get a. You get a
Probably
free.
to sail down
Do you get a
this
free
way.
unit if you run all the way along the Antarctic?
Excursion.
You're gonna come all the way down here.
If they
and
come back, if they come
through the
back to this
Suez and
sea
then
zone,
back to Crimea.
yep, yeah. Take Istanbul out. But we're not sure. Anyway, I'm just gonna leave her there. Nope, Japan's doing stuff. It's attacking that one.
Mm-hmm.
It's attacking that one.
He's attacking my Chinese again.
He's attacking the KMT. He's leaving the communists alone.
That's okay. James is gonna come unglued.
Yeah. All right. I'm just gonna leave her there. Not too much has really happened. We're still in the early stages, so there's a few cards down. The Germans got 3 cards down because it's just not enough room in there for all their units. And I did the same thing with London here. So.
They're
And
basking.
I bought a
in the
seaplane.
Sahara.
First time I bought a seaplane in a regular game. Very nice sculpt. We'll see what I can
They're
do. With
basking in the Sahara.
They're basking in the Sahara when they should be parked in London. All right. Okay, we just finished July 38. We're starting January 39. This is where our income sit. Germany's annexed everything. Japan's going on a tear in China. And otherwise, everybody else has just moved up because somebody attacked something. Tech, Russia's going crazy with tech. Russia's got heavy armor to stage 2, heavy bombers, long range, strategic rockets. That's stage 1. And they get their freebie of advanced anti-submarine warfare. The British have finally been successful in the last two turns. So they got wartime economy and improved shipyards. There's quite a few other doing tech, nothing totally crazy. Japan actually is doing really good. They got improved shipyards and wartime economy, along with lofty heavy armor. So we'll see how that works. And we just discovered that we were supposed to be playing with commanders and didn't have them on the board, so everybody was allowed to place one as they saw fit. So Washington's got a commander. I threw one in London here, or there. Germans got quite a few things floating around in the, quite a few subs. They got 3 there, the coastal there, 1 there, 1 there. I don't have enough stuff on convoy probably, but I'm just trying to figure something out. We'll see what they do. The Russians are way down here. I'm not sure where they're going next. They're leaving everybody guessing. They can't go to South America, so they gotta go somewhere. Maybe Portugal. They can reach Portugal next turn. We'll see. Yeah, Navy, not really. I'm just moving the Navy around a little bit for the British. Jinx has been very busy, along with Panzer King in Spain. They both attacked each other a couple times and wiped a bunch of stuff out and then retreated, so that's where we sit. A lot less units than we had before. I don't even know if there's even a break in the stalemate yet. They're pretty much even on units. If you attack, you get a better go with the plane, but I mean, if you're defending against the plane, you got a pretty good go against the land units, so maybe the attack is slightly different for them, but that's just 1 unit, and it takes 1 bad roll and it's gone. So Japan and China have been very, very busy in here. China's basically up to 3 now. They were down to 1 last turn, but they're up to 3. They just took this place back. But we'll see what happens next turn. Japan's probably just going to spank it right out of existence, and that'll be the end of that. They got a lot more air power, and they got the ability to move a lot of troops via transport, so things could get interesting. They got quite a few guys over there, quite a few in there. It can get very interesting. So far, the communist Chinese have just been sitting there, which is cool. They're just being left alone. They got a commander. They're in the mountains. They're
Just hanging out.
They're a bit of an ugly nut to crack. Otherwise, nothing's really happened anywhere else yet. Few units have been placed. The Americans placed a carrier and a cruiser. The Italians placed a cruiser. The British moved these guys up. So far, the French haven't touched their stuff. The Germans haven't touched their battleship, and neither have the Japanese or the Italians. We got a bunch of capital ships over here if you want to move them, by the way.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
I do, yeah.
Then nobody gets affected if you move them forward, just if you place
Oh,
them.
yeah, okay.
It's just since they're already on there, it doesn't change anybody
Yeah.
until you finish them.
Makes sense.
And Russia, I don't know what Russia's really. Oh, Russia's taken Afghanistan this turn. You took Afghanistan this turn?
No, these are the Afghani troops.
Oh, that's what they're very similar. in
They
color.
get a mountain and a militia.
Okay.
They're just dark brown.
Never mind. The neutral is almost Russian color.
I can't attack till 39.
Yeah. He's got to wait another.
Or I guess
Actually,
Gotta make wait, next turn.
I think it's next
I
year,
think.
July. Yeah.
All right. Otherwise, there's not much going on. The usual Axis buildup, and the Allies trying to sit around and see what the Axis are doing, and the Russians are just building up stuff, hoping to steal some neutrals for themselves later on. All right. Okay, rank carriers here in Prince George. We just finished January 39. We're starting July 39. Everybody's at full income increase ability. Tech is all active. So we could be seeing some Japanese heavy armor, some French and American jets, some British submarines, advanced subs. I don't think the Russians have any anti-submarine warfare to do. The Italians could be building heavy battleships, and the Germans could be building heavy carriers. And all these techs that are on stage 1 or 2 could now be moved forward to stage 3 and 4. So that could get very busy. Let's see what else is going on here. I don't believe the Germans have done their turn here yet, but I could be wrong. Let's see, the Americans, they haven't really built much up. Nothing's changed. Canadians didn't build anything again this turn, although Canada is sitting on a sweet stack of $16 of cash, making $4 a turn, saving it. The British built a fighter and flew that tactical from North England down to London. Put a seaplane on combat air patrol from that air base or Navy base. There's one of each there, so I think this is the Navy base that affects the seaplanes. We'll see. I've moved a few more escorts here and there, so I'm kind of covering my convoy lines a bit better. Let's see what else really interesting. Not really interesting. The French are doing their thing. They moved this transport all the way here from way over there. I got escort there for this and possible Japanese. Kind of got a couple of blockers up here, but they're not really going to stop any serious movement. Australia's got enough to buy a fighter next turn, but I'm waiting because the Canada expansion gives you cheaper fighters. So Australia built one of these here, and we moved these 2 forward. Japan's still going crazy, building like crazy. They're attacking in China. Now, in China, the Russian-controlled Chinese, the communists, attacked 2 KMT here and took this place out. Japan attempted to attack it and failed. They couldn't get enough. Well, they weren't willing to lose any aircraft in case they got a hit. They lost their one land unit that could make it. So that attack is over. Down here, Chinese got beat out of there again by the Japanese. The Japanese are probably just going to roll in there and take that now. And then that will be the end of the KMT, more or less. Although there are still 1, 2, 3 other locations owned by the KMT at the moment, but that probably won't last. Which brings me down to here. I'm going to have to start building up some more units, but I just can't make more money. So I'm kind of tight. Let's see what else is really going on here. Oh, the Italians did something kind of crazy. And last turn, they just moved their navy through the Bosphorus Straits there, it's basically a canal though, since they're not at war with anybody. And that card there contains all these units seen on the screen there. They have their entire navy. I think they got 3 transports with 2 mountain units, a marine, and 3 infantry. Maybe they got more, I'm not sure. Maybe they got a 4th transport, I can't tell. That's a lot of units, so we'll see what happens in there, because that's kind of a surprise. And when I was last in here, the Russians and the Germans just declared that they were going to start the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. I'm not sure if they've already broken it or not. They were kind of conniving between the two of them in here with the door closed, so I don't know if Jinx controlled Axis and Panzer King's controlled communists have made a decision on that. And the Spanish Civil War is still ongoing, and it doesn't seem to be having any sign of a winner. Although the CCP, oh sorry, that's China. The nationalists are getting a lot more lend-lease from both Germany and Italy, and Russia just can't afford to lend-lease too much stuff here. So we'll see what happens there. And that is it. So I don't know if this Italian move here is just bait to get me out of the Med, or to threaten Russia, or just to hide their troops. But I can't even attack them until a later turn, when they've already attacked somebody first. We'll see. Russia's moved this transport and whatever. They've taken the long way. They started here in Crimea and they've gone all the way around and up, and now they're over here. I don't know if they're going back in, or if they're taking Portugal, or maybe they're looking at the Azores, or what. Yeah, I'm still not very strong over here, but unless if those transports come out, I'm toast. They got way more than I can build. But I had to start building up here. I only had one infantry here, and no aircraft and whatnot. So I've just been trying to build up a stack there so that I don't lose my capital and my money. Same thing over here. I consolidated all my troops, whatnot. Moved a couple of infantry actually in here, one from South Africa and one from India. And hopefully I can upgrade this factory. I've already upgraded this factory here to a medium and this factory here to a medium. So we'll see what happens there. Japan still hasn't built any factories on the mainland, so they've been having to struggle and use. I mean, they got a lot of transports and destroyers right now, but in the future that may change. So maybe they'll build something in Siam or something. We'll see. And actually, I think this coming turn here, the Siam's going to align with the Japanese, and that will start changing how things work, play out down here. I'm just hoping to turtle and stay alive long enough that I can wipe out a pile. The Chinese have been doing really good though. They've been just annihilating the Japanese ground forces every turn. They're just killing piles of them. So it's good to see. Chinese are losing a lot of militia and infantry, but they're taking a ton of Japanese militia and infantry with them. This mountain penalty to attack is really not helping Japan. Their aircraft are still doing good, but that's the only reason they win anything. So we'll see. We'll definitely have to see. All right, and yeah, so these are the units that have been placed by the Americans, and Japan hasn't moved in. None of the Axis have moved anything forward, as I've already gone into last video. So that's it. So just a little update on how things are going. So this is turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 completed. Yeah, 6 completed. We're about to start turn 7, but I think we might be taking a break for supper here. So leave it.
Sorry? No, they're not actually attacking.
All right, look at that. Norway, Poland, all of Poland, every single place in
The
Poland.
only
except for
additional
Warsaw.
stuff is the submarines does.
So
And
what
he
are you
hasn't
gonna
done
do with
anything
the
with his subs or his navy yet. Oh no, his navy is attacking Russia. Is it attacking Russia there?
Those ones are, yes.
Or are you just using them to attack?
These aircraft are attacking these ships, and all of these ships, but the transports are going
Are
past.
doing a landing on
Lithuania.
Lithuania?
Oh, sorry, Estonia.
But the ships have to come up first.
The ships have to win.
Yeah,
first,
the ships have to win first. So these guys.
So he's declared war on Russia. That
Some
may-
of the subs.
As I understand it, with these new rules, if I attack here, this is the only thing that can get me, but it cannot reach unless it rebases first. Correct?
Huh?
If I attack with these subs here, the only thing that can
Yeah, I can't attack your subs, but
Yeah.
I can defend the convoy line
can
with,
defend
the
the
other,
convoy
with the
line.
other stuff.
Just
the
these
other
two, eh?
escorts.
just these two, I suppose, right?
Yeah, just the Corvette.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be declaring war on the British.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that other escort doesn't defend because he's not.
No,
in
no,
the same
I'm
zone.
not saying defend, but I'll get the +1 on the die roll
Yeah.
for each
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
That's escorting the line.
No, he's going to attack the ships, isn't he?
I'm intending to attack the ships.
So if he attacks the ships, that's different. Yeah.
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 Yeah, nothing else can get involved. This is the same.
He's
as-
attacking Canada.
Yeah.
What a
He's
traitor.
attacking Canada.
And these will be going here.
Look at that. I haven't even been able to build one of those units yet, and it's already getting attacked.
And I'm going to convoy raid with that one down there.
Convoy raid down here.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
gonna
this guy.
It's gonna swing around in convoy raid.
This guy I smashed.
Yeah, that's right.
Where's he going?
Convoy raid on just on that south 115.
Right here?
Yep, that's the plan. And that'll do it. That'll do for all the attacks. So just so you guys know, these over here are not moving.
They're waiting.
They're waiting.
They're non-combat and then
Yeah.
second impulse.
Because
Convoy,
because there might be some issue too, like if since I'm attacking here as well as attacking here, I am unsure of whether or not I could blitz and then could add into this battle, right?
Yeah.
It's because these guys are already engaging here.
Okay.
You guys,
That makes sense. I understand.
Yeah,
And if
yeah.
you could either use
because
your
I can't,
second
I wouldn't be able to
impulse or
combat
save it
and
for
then
the next turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for the second impulse, and same with these guys here are being held back as well as these guys.
Okay.
So yeah.
That
just
makes
so-
sense.
So who are you attacking first?
Who am I attacking first?
Naval battles first, or does it matter?
No, there's not a stipulation in this game.
Yeah, I'll give you $10 if you want to give me $10.
You slide me one of those blue chips and I'll slide you
Look at
one.
that. Everybody's at full income. Everybody's at war.
Except for the Americans.
Except for the Americans.
The
And the
Chinese
Italians
are
are not
one.
at war with anybody. So the Italians are not at war. The Americans are not at war. Everybody else is at war with, and Japan's not at war with a major either.
Let's check out Canada here. Do you get
Everybody else
are
is
you
at
at a
war
bonus situation there?
I could be,
War bonus.
but I only need.
London to Halifax line. No, he's on that one, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, but that's at the end of my
Alberta?
turn,
Yeah, Alberta, you're,
right? I get the bonus
Connected
for
to a
Alberta
major.
because there's a rail that connects to Ottawa.
and then not the last one, so Canada,
So-
US, no.
Yeah, it's gonna get dicey.
So you are going to get that +1.
Maybe.
I don't see him.
Maybe I'll get-
I don't
maybe-
see him airlifting
All I gotta do is
into
kill 2
Manitoba.
subs, and I could get the other bonus.
I don't
too.
see him airlifting into Manitoba.
You don't?
Alright guys, let's work from north to south if we can. So Norway first.
No,
Yeah.
I want to go from south to north.
South to north works just as
And I'm
good.
just-
It's here. Let's move this up.
Alright.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, so
General's recording. All right, the Germans have done their first impulse. These ships have not attacked there yet. We're just finding out whether that affects the American income or not. If it does, that may change to be attacking here. So it's on hold. The escort here and the Russians were eliminated. The convoy here afterwards was a tie, so nothing changed. First impulse being done. Norway is completely controlled by the Germans.
is completely at peace with.
At peace with the Germans, yeah. That
Happily
is,
alive.
their navy has converted to British along with the Polish navy.
and they
Poland
can't
only
attack.
has Warsaw. Non-combat movements have moved a bunch of stuff forward. And they also had taken, I can't remember the name of that place, just
Minsk,
south of
right?
Leningrad,
Yeah,
but I think
Minsk.
it's
Oh, it is.
Minsk.
Minsk, yeah.
So he's now working on his second impulse, and when that's done, and we figure out more information on Americans, this is either going to attack here or there. And I'll just show you a recap at the end of this turn.
Surprise.
All right.
So
We're on the double impulse, and we're rolling for Moscow
Miss.
right now.
And Moscow's gone.
And Moscow's falling.
Now I roll my commander for.
Yeah, to retreat.
Yeah, and if you get a 12, I think.
So it's
you-
9,
Mistake,
so I
yeah.
can decide to have a deal. We'll take him to Stalingrad. And we're done with that one.
And is that all your double impulse moves?
There's still this one right here. So I'm gonna do one at 8 for the tactical bomber. Whatever it is, it's a hit anyway.
So
For right here in whatever this.
One
place is.
militia
Yes.
at 2 or 3. Is that in the city? No, that's up there.
Yeah.
So it's 2. Is it 2 or
It's
is it 1?
it should be a 1. Sorry.
It's 1. Yeah. Okay. Miss.
Miss. All right, there's that. Okay, and now let's do this one down here. So you just got 1 militia, and I got a stack of stuff. So 1 tank at 7, miss. 1 mech at 5, miss. All right, well now let's go down to the infantry. And it's actually should be at 3 because I have commander there. So 3 at 3, hit.
Okay, so we just got 1 roll.
Yeah,
and
1 at 1.
1 at 1. Miss.
Now, there you go.
Doggo.
And these guys blitz past with the commander and go to Kiev. So that's 1 at 5 for the mech, a hit. And you have 1 at 4 inside there because -1 plus 1.
Miss.
Yes. Alright, so there's that.
He's now taking Kiev and Moscow. And Leningrad.
And now this one down here in Bessarabia, it's just a small battle with equal chances of winning. Mine's at 3, I guess. Hit.
Yep. And what
You're at
militia?
1 for militia.
Miss.
There you go, my man.
Doggo.
Sorry about that. I feel bad, but it's unexpected sometimes.
Well,
No,
You-
I'm probably the only one here that will say I actually love that because that is awesome, and that's probably just shows my inexperience at this, but that is so cool.
But I do feel bad from some perspective because, you know, from a 3-day game where you could have been playing a bigger part, now it's
Yeah.
slightly less, right? So I do feel slightly bad.
Oh, you're not out yet.
oh,
No,
no,
it's
I'm
not
not.
out.
But this is the fun part about
Yeah.
it.
Russia
Is
never
that
surrenders. As long as
Exactly,
they get a
that's-
territory left.
that's where
Warsaw
it
is
just gets
next.
so much more exciting. I love it.
oh, now Warsaw. So I guess I'm rolling.
Yeah.
So my 2 fighters are rolling at, I don't get a bonus against you, so at 6. 1 hit against your aircraft. And then I have the tactical bomber. Hit with the target selection. And then I have 2 at 3. Yeah, 2 at 3. And a first strike with the artillery. Hit, surprisingly.
So I get to pick my loss, right?
And then last one, so 1 infantry supported at 3, and 1 regular unsupported at
Take the
2.
dude with the.
So 1 first strike,
Take the.
1 target selection, which I'll take
He's
your
got- he's got
infantry.
target selection.
So I choose an infantry for a target selection, and your fighter has to go 2
Yeah.
from the.
And.
What does he
the
got
first-
left?
The
Just
first
1
strike.
infantry would be left.
The first strike is probably going to take cavalry then.
Whatever you think.
Yeah. It defends worse. So I
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
roll one.
That's what I'm saying.
I roll 2 infantry and a fighter.
Okay.
And I have 1 infantry left. Is that correct?
You'd have the first strike took a cavalry. Oh yeah, 2 infantry and a fighter. Yes, sir. Yeah.
And then, because first strike I can't roll that
Yeah.
unit. All right, fighter's purple.
Hit with the
And
fighter.
I got a hit with the fighter and a
So-
hit with an infantry.
Okay. I'm taking off a fighter, and I'm
And I got
taking off
1
an
dude left,
infantry.
and that's it.
So infantry's gone and the fighter's gone. Okay, round 2, tactical bomber, hit.
And infantry is a hit,
Wow, taking some damage. All right.
and I'm done.
Okay.
Poland is completely annihilated and all German.
Do I replace the factory for my own?
Yeah,
Okay.
you do.
I'll just pass you all this.
Yeah, pass it now.
Okay.
All right, Poland's German, Norway's German, all of Norway. You took Narvik, didn't you?
I did, yes.
Okay, your guys just moved off.
Yeah, oops.
Must-
That was when we had the battle
Yeah.
board out here.
And
Took
you've
Scotland.
taken Leningrad and Estonia and Western Russia and Minsk and Moscow and Belarusia
Sorry,
and
man.
Western Ukraine and Bessarabia and,
So I don't
and
collect any
Kiev.
cash
You took
from you.
Kiev as well.
Yeah.
That's a
Only thing
wicked
Smolensk
double,
and
that's a
Stalin.
wicked double impulse there. And he's also taken Scotland and all the other stuff.
Yeah, you
I
gotta fly
showed
your plane back to
first time.
Scotland now.
Yeah.
So that was a wicked double impulse for Germany, and we'll see what happens because France hasn't been touched yet, and
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
France has not been touched yet. Neither has
So that was 1, 2.
U.S. The U.S. isn't involved.
Any
We'll see
other
what
neutral
happens.
dudes laying around?
I had a bunch there, but you
Yeah, I
grabbed
got
them
them
already.
Yeah.
No, I think that's it.
Okay.
All right, that's the end of German turn
What
on
did I do with the red one?
July 39.
These
Hey, RC here again. We're in Prince George, British Columbia. We're playing at General Hand Grenade's house here. Version 3, Historical Board Gaming's Global War 36 playtest. So nothing's finalized. Anything you see, just so you remember. Currently, we just finished July 39, and we're currently starting January 40. We're calling it quits to the day here. It's already 9 o'clock at night, so CCP still got $2. Canada's at full income and at war with the Germans only. Australia's at full income. Italy's at full income, at peace with everybody. FEC's at full income, at war with the Germans. French are at full income, at war with the Germans. British are at full income, at war with the Germans. Americans are nowhere near full income and creeping their way up. Japan is at war with the Russians, but nobody else. Russia's at war with Germany and Japan. And Germany's at war with Russia and the British and the French. All right, now let's go over a little pan around of some tech here, because that's kind of important as well. Let me just adjust this a little bit here. There you go. All right, so tech is all active last turn. Nobody really built too much, but the Germans have heavy carriers, heavy battleships for the Italians. Russians have advanced anti-sub. British have advanced submarines. Maybe I should build some of those. French and the Americans have jets. And the Japanese have heavy armor. Russia's been working on these, but they're in a tight squeeze now, so I don't see them spending any money on tech. They lost their capital this past turn, so they had no money anyway. They're under some serious pressure. We've got wartime economy, British and Japan on stage 2, Italy and Germany on stage 3. Improved shipyards, we got the Americans on there along with the Japanese, the Germans and the British. The Americans are up to stage 2 tied with the Japanese on heavy battleships, and they started out here. We just threw this one down there. Couldn't remember who would have it, but we knew that for sure the Americans actually had those things. So we just put the Americans at starting on stage 1. So that's the tech. All right. Now let's move on to some more important things, at least for you folks. Let's see. So let's start with what's going on here. Just so you can see, you're going to see little flames here in the odd thing. Germany just did its combat moves, but nobody's done any attacks for this January 40 turn. So there's going to be a few things going on, but with the Germans and little flames there, that's their planned combat moves. This could still change for tomorrow morning. All right, so let's see. The British, let's start there since that's who I am. Have last turn they built that air training from this combat Canada at Arms or Canada War expansion. They've got this, we put it down this minor shipyard here just because without a minor shipyard you can't even place a ship. So you can't place a ship with a standard Navy base, so we had to get a minor shipyard so they could place 2 ships. So we just upgraded that, otherwise they can't build these units. So yeah, we'll have to figure something out here. The Australians using this have built themselves a cheap plane, but then next turn they have to lend lease it to themselves or receive it via lend lease. Otherwise, Canada's not really in it all that much. They got a frigate down here, or sorry, a corvette down here. This navy came out by the British so that the Germans have run away. I'm trying to pin the Germans on one side. I built a fighter and a light carrier there as well. And then I have this one from here moving its way around. So we're basically trying to pin the Germans in the Atlantic, and then hopefully I can pin them above here and just keep forcing them up. That's the plan anyway. I want to just squeeze them and get them out, right? That way I can pin them into one corner. I don't need as many aircraft, because I need aircraft to hunt them down. So that's a serious problem. All right, what else is going on here? So last turn, I showed you the Germans. I showed you the Russians, right? Well, let's go with the Russians. What did the Russians do in retaliation? Well, they could only attack one place, so they took this place back. And what that did is it effectively cut off supply to this factory, so the Germans couldn't build anything there. And the Americans just lend-leased this tank destroyer up there, which is why the Germans are planning on blowing that up or something. And Russia moved its capital here, moved its major factory from Kursk to Stalingrad. Still got a fairly substantial stack here. The Italian fleet is still in here. They're not at war with anybody, so they can still leave. But because the Germans attacked here and they landed in Scotland, which I took back last turn, the French fleet and the British fleet are both allied together. So I have quite a substantial amount of French or British fleet, along with the French, that have not lost a single unit, thanks to no Vichy rolls. So we'll see how that works out. This is a fairly substantial bulk here. So if he can hold Stalingrad and Transcaucasia here, and just basically make himself a line, and then hold this stuff back here. But I mean, Japan's coming in this way. They dropped an airborne in there, right? Just to break the supply pass so they couldn't receive Lend-Lease through here. So we'll have to see what happens there. Although, I noticed Russia's got a torpedo boat destroyer that can move one, and it can go in there and take that transport. And it's got this sub that can go in there and take that transport. That would be the best thing that Russia could do to eliminate Japan's ability to be a complete dink to them right now. And that would stop all these units from being able to come into Russia next turn and take this port out, either through a mirror or through here. So, or through even Korea. So that would be Russia's best bet to maintain some of its stuff. What do we got going on here? We got an Australian light carrier, Canadian light carrier in the works. These guys have moved this one up. Otherwise, these three here have not moved since placement. This one's been moved up, but it hasn't moved anywhere. These ones haven't moved yet either. So we got these guys here. They're working on not much. They got this one little sub down here. This could be problematic. The Dutch have not been involved, so they're still perfectly neutral. Japan has only declared war on China and Russia, so India so far is out of the woods so far. Siam just aligned though. So we'll see what happens here. These Dutch units are not involved in anything yet. Yeah, so with Italy doing and focusing up there, it still has 3 units in here. I'm going to need to find a way to use this transport here, or both these transports, maybe build some dudes down here and start hauling some guys up. Maybe upgrade this factory and build 3 guys and give myself a bit of a cycle going. I'm going to have to watch out for this guy though, so I can't leave these transports undefended as they are by Italy's turn. Alright, what else have we got going on? Trying to think here. It's not too much going on yet, but it was crazy, as you can see. Like Russia has gotten hammered hard, moved its capital. It's got a few units left. It's got like this, Crimea, but these are all Germany's moves now. Germany's lost a lot of its stacks, though. This stack here is actually just a commander, a tank, and a mech, right, along with these guys in there. So there's not as many units here. Like Germany doesn't have a lot of units on the front, and it doesn't have a lot of units built up that are moving towards the front, because it's still got to deal with these French forces in here, right? Like The French have got it. We're using these as tank destroyers, by the way. So the French has got this stuff here on the backside of the Maginot Line. They got a stack of dudes in Picardia. British are able to start moving guys across these lines here. So British can actually move 2 units, non-combat move into France. And France actually attacked the Germans here and took them out. So there's a French-owned piece of Spain. That was good. They took out those French forces. Now the French are going to have to watch because the Italians may be able to come in, right? Or the Germans, they're only down to this spot here and this spot here. So maybe the Russians can contain them, start building some units at this facility. I know they have this here. They can take this port. They can start using that. So we'll see what happens. It's still early yet, so like I was saying, there's a lot of weird stuff going on. Mainly with the rules here, with the new version of the rules, not too much is all that different. It's basically the same game, which is good. It's still got the same flow and feel of the old 36, but there's a few variations, like how the convoys are going. I'm finding it impossible to hunt these subs down. Even with the seaplane and cap, and I just built that. I'm building another one for the Canadians now. I got this one here, I got that one there, and they're all totally out of place. So I'm gonna have to get them together and just move them like a wall up along the Atlantic and force the German subs off somewhere, which is very time consuming and effort wasting. I could have spent that $13 it took me to place that last turn on something more beneficial, right? So yeah, like land units to help support France against Germany. German stack here, what do we got? Here, I'm going to walk around the table and take a peek from the other side, because I can't see it from here. Alright, where can I put this down? There we go. So the Germans have 2, 3, 6, 7 airborne. Oh no, that's 7 militia. Okay, 7 militia, 2 infantry, an AA gun, and a commander. I didn't realize they only had militia there. Those are the Volkssturm militia, so they can move inside of Germany, but they can't leave, so they're just stuck here. So they actually have no pressure on us. Ooh, that's good to know. So what I need to start doing is using the strategic here or something. We need to start bombing their factories. We need to start wasting their money. We need to start building up the pressure on this side so that we can ease the pressure on this side on the Russians. Whew. We'll see. Like this is a planned attack, alignment, attack. This is a blitz attack. I assume it came from Moscow. These blue markers, he was saying his plan is for this guy to scoop here and then deliver, right? That's another attack. That's an attack. So yeah, there's only 5 units here, or that's 1 Russian unit. So there's only going to be 4 German units there and a commander, and that's it. That's all that card stands for, is 2 more a tank and a mech. So things could be going quite well for the Russians if they can just turtle a little bit and hold these Germans from moving too much, right? If they can just hold on to this and a couple places in here and hold the Japanese back, and then on this side hold this and Transcaucasia and make themselves a bit of a wall here and a fort here, they have a good chance. And they might even be able to counterattack this, because he hasn't left a lot in here, right? Everything's moved out to attack. So even if he has just 1 infantry here, they got a fast mover, an infantry. They can attack in here. I mean, some of this stuff might be able to counterattack them, but if they keep putting the pressure on Moscow and take these monies away from the Germans, anything the Germans take this turn, they can't collect this turn, right? So that's the way they're gonna have to play this. I think they lost some of this, but they didn't move their factories back. They blew up the air bases and whatnot where they could. That's the only detriment to having these printed on the map. This got blown up, but it's still there, right? So we'll see. Anyhow, whew, that's a lot of talking, and I don't know what else to say here, so I'm going to shut it down. So it's been a very eventful day one. I've seen some things you don't commonly see, like Russia ignoring France and moving through Poland and into, Germany ignoring France and the British and moving through Poland and in here. Its attack on Poland brought British and French up to income, but then it attacked us in the convoys as well. So we'll see how this works out. It's early in the game, and this could go either way. All right, I'll leave it there. Bye.